Not a funeral.
Okay. Um,
Weird. I mean, nobody's dressed up.
Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me. We want to welcome everybody. This is definitely going to be an emotional time for all of us, I think. But my name is Shale Norris. I'm the Executive Director of Safe Bay. We're so grateful that you're here with us today, and it's been an impossibly hard time for us all. So we wanted to offer you the chance to be together with us in remembering Daisy. We do have a counselor available during this Zoom. Sarah, if you're there, will you raise your hand in the chat? And anyone who may need her can just direct chat to her. But we will also, one second, I want to copy and paste all of the other hotlines. Those were on the last one. Okay, so if anyone needs any support, please don't hesitate to reach out to Sarah and the other national resources. So from here on out, I want to let Ella jump in. Are you there, Elle?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Ella. I am one of Daisy's best friends and also one of the co-founders of Safe Bay. You have to forgive me. I never thought I would have to read something like this, so please bear with me as I navigate through reading this. I'm going to speak on behalf of Jada and I, as we've lost our sister, friend, and Nugget. We met Daisy during the filming of Audrey and Daisy, and were immediately bonded by our similar stories. But as we grew and went on to do the work behind Safe Bay, our friendship grew into a true sisterhood. When you travel the world together doing this kind of work, you truly create an indescribable bond. Many have been asking us how we're getting through this at the moment, and truthfully, we both still feel in a state of shock and not easy. But what truly keeps us pushing forward is running through the precious memories we have shared. And I want to share just some highlights that I feel so grateful to have shared with Daisy. Starting with seeing her smile when rowboating through Central Park, seeing the thrill and adventure in her eyes when we went skydiving in Colorado in the middle of January. She said she never felt closer to her dad and Tristan when we were free falling. Seeing her laugh uncontrollably when I had just made a fresh plate of bagel bites and dropped them all face down on the ground in a dorm room in Missouri. Seeing her almost pee her pants when I slipped White Claw first into Shale's jacuzzi. Writing music together in the mountains of Big Bear. And watching her see the ocean for the first time in San Francisco. And honestly, many, many others. It's really hard not to smile when we think about Daisy. Her smile, and especially her laugh, were truly infectious. And as we sat down to write this, we really found ourselves at a true loss for words. There are really no words to describe how much Daisy meant to us. Daisy was so unique and truly one in a million, from her love for mimosas and sushi, from saying that being emo was absolutely not a phase, her incredible way with words, her wit and savageness in combating bullies online, her love for strippers and absolute unapologetically strong female empowerment, her fire-ass makeup skills, her ability to pull off literally any hair color, and her unconditional love for her animals, her friends, her family, and fellow survivors. It wasn't in her nature to be outwardly rude, even when people did exactly that to her. Instead, she had incredible savageness for shutting down unsolicited opinions and hate with her wit and charm. Daisy was fiercely loyal. I never had to worry about what battlefield I was entering, whether it was trolls online or my own fears in the real world, because she was a warrior in every sense and someone I was proud to have at my side. She knew exactly what to say and when to say it, so bad days were never all that bad. Even if you were not as close to her as some of us were, You knew her heart because she emitted light everywhere she went. She fought harder than anyone I'd ever met in my life. The love she had in her heart was insurmountable. I ask myself every day what she would want me to do, and I try my best to do that. I know she would want us taking care of ourselves and lifting each other up. That I really can't express enough. Everything I do from here on out will be in honor of her and her fight. It is our job to keep her love and fight alive. So now I'm going to pass it on to Tori.
Hi everybody, I'm Tori.
You're probably gonna have to talk about it.
Oh, I'm Tori. About a year ago, I got the chance to write some music with Daisy, and as we got to know each other and write together, she expressed to me that music was a huge release for her, and it was a beautiful way to connect with others. So this song was the first song we ever collaborated on, that I'll be singing. And although the song is not a super upbeat, happy-go-lucky song, it was Daisy's words, was her feelings and her story, and it's a piece of her, so that's why we decided to sing this song. So here it is. It's called Savior. Woke up cold and found your mom standing over, trying to figure out why I don't remember anything. Did I grew thinking the ice grew thin? Feel the shift, heart getting quick. All of a sudden, cameras started coming. All I'm asking is for someone to take these boulders off my shoulders, for someone to be the scapegoat, the whirlwind fucking road, and I don't wanna be your savior. I just wanna be saved, and I don't wanna be your savior. I just wanna be saved. No, I didn't want you to know I wasn't asking. I was blackout drunk and boys taking advantage. And how I'm supposed to live my life from standing on the other side. All I'm asking is for someone to take these boulders off my shoulders, for someone to be the scapegoat, the whirlwind and fucking road, and I don't want to be your savior. I just want to be saved, and I don't want to be your savior. I just want to be saved. Oh, let it go by my control. And I'm letting go of all my control. All I'm asking is for someone to take these boulders off my shoulders, for someone to be the scapegoat, the ruin of the road, and I don't want to be your savior. I just want to be saved, and I don't want to be your savior. I just want to be saved.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, I'm going to jump in just 1 second with some clips that Ella pulled from the screening, the creation of Saving Daisy, the film. I gotta share my screen again.
cat? Alright. Can you do that one more time a little louder?
Yeah, that was just I'm Kat Coleman. So tomorrow we are skating. I don't know how else to say that. We're jumping on rope. Is that like a cooler way?
A little stuff here.
10 minutes. Perspective.
What? And what was her tattoo?
You know, like,
Yeah,
pretend I'm in.
I look.
I don't know what to do. Wait, what was the question?
What was the
Now I'm
question?
distracted.
That makes it nice and I'm actually going to be able to start with like not torn up for a couple of years. I'm calling myself a page. It feels weird. I'm a child. I go to sleep early. Up to 6.
Yeah, we have Rogan.
And we have Hoagie.
We have Rose.
He's the support.
Well, if anyone needs like John does that.
Get it close to that.
Okay. Charlie, you are up. Tell me if I need to. Let's see. Do I need to unmute him? Yep. There we go. No screen.
Yep, I'm live.
There you go.
Hey guys. Well, I don't know really where to start with this. This is as much as a shock to me still as it is all of you, I'm sure. I was asked to just kind of come tell a couple stories about my sister and really explain what she meant to this world, and it was obviously a lot. Judging how many people we have on this, she reached more hearts than most people ever will in her short life, and most people ever will in their long extended life or decades. I mean, she had a huge impact on a lot of people, and I couldn't be more proud of her for that. One of the things I always admire about Daisy is that she was full send on anything that she decided that she was going to set her mind to, even if it was boycotting the fact that me and my brothers wanted to eat at Chinese and she wanted Olive Garden. She was going to let everybody know her opinion. Ella spoke a little bit about her laugh. That was one of the things that, I mean, you could tell what kind of thing she was up to. If she was laughing at something else, whether she was snorting or her little silent laugh. She had a dolphin laugh, and then she had the, I just broke something, I'm going to pretend I didn't do anything wrong, and then just start dying laughing. And everybody that was around her would start laughing because it was always the funniest thing. One time we were actually getting ready to do a news interview at my house in Albany, and the news crew came in. We all know that Daisy is she likes to do her things her way, and if people don't like it, she doesn't really care. They actually came to me and asked me to remove my earrings and trim my beard before the interview was complete. And Daisy goes, "Really? I thought that was going to be me." And she goes back upstairs and puts in every nose ring, lip ring, facial piercing that she could possibly find, knowing that I was going to have to take mine out to be on the interview, and walks downstairs and would have set off every metal detector within the region. And the news people did not know what to say before the interview. And she's like, "It's just staying." And she was unapologetic about it. And that's one of the things I love the most about her, is that she would stick by her word and what her beliefs of right and wrong. And you can do nothing but admire that. She was just my whole family is still hurting over it. I kind of am in the same stage that Ella and Jade are in, where I'm still kind of in a stage of shock. I've started coping with it a little bit, but this one, when you lose a family member to suicide, especially, it's different than everything else. It hits a little different. It hits a little harder. So one thing I do ask is that all of you hold your loved ones close. Keep them close to you. Make sure you let them know that you love them every single day, because you don't know when it's going to be the last. And I'm going to miss her. Had a lot of great times with her, and I had the absolute blessing of speaking next to her with Safe Bay and helping spread that message that she felt was so important to help everybody else, and she helped me in the process. I grew a lot. I became more of a man by being around her and learning how to deal with stuff. And I'm going to miss her, and I'm sad that she's going to miss all the great experiences we have going forward, because her legacy is going to move mountains, and it's only just begun. So she would want us to carry that work on, and I'm going to start being more proactive with Safe Bay, especially because I know that's what she would want. I just want her to know I love her, and I love all you guys for coming out here and supporting her and her cause and helping us remember everything great about her, because this world's going to do nothing but miss her. I think that's all I got.
Thanks, Charlie. That was beautiful. Bonnie and Sarah, I wanted to give you a chance to speak. These are the some of the team at Actual Films who created the film Audrey and Daisy. Let's see, where are you? Bonnie, I unmuted you. Oh, I just have to find.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Maybe a little bit louder on your end.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Shale, thank you so much for inviting us to speak today. It's very meaningful to be here and see how much support there is for Daisy. Not surprising, but really meaningful to see. I'm going to read, because otherwise I will likely not get through it. As I remember the first day that we met Daisy. And on this first day, it turns out that we didn't meet Daisy. We flew from San Francisco to Albany, Missouri to begin the process of getting to know Daisy and Charlie and Melinda and the whole family for the film. We'd spoken for weeks on the phone, but now it was the time to start getting into the process of the filming and getting Daisy's story recorded. But Daisy wasn't ready. And she knew she wasn't ready. And as Charlie said, Daisy had a very strong mind and will, and she knew her fears, and she knew her pain, and she knew her limits. So that first day we did nothing. And when we came back the second day, she was ready, and we sat down with her in her house and outpoured the beginnings of the story that she wanted to tell. The incredible pain of losing her beloved father, the injustices that showered down on her in Maryville, her attempts to cope with her pain, and more. But beyond the details of the story, what I encountered that day was a strength and a resilience that belied the 17-year-old who was sitting in front of me. And I had no idea what was in store. During the course of making the film, Daisy did lose her way a couple of times and didn't understand why we were asking her to dive back into the pain of her trauma. But she'd always reemerge, and she'd carry on, because as she said back then, she had to carry on because Audrey couldn't. And she had to carry on because Delaney needed support. She had then Ella and Jada and the rest of the young survivors who became part of Daisy's circle of strength. She was a warrior for change, and she loved her friends and her fellow survivors fiercely. Now we all need to carry on for Daisy. As storytellers, we're often dramatically changed by the people who we come into contact with as we make films. Daisy showed herself to us to be an extraordinary artist, a mature visionary, and a communicator through her art. The version of her that came through and came out to us in the film and through her art into the film was a complete surprise. When she was tattooing a semicolon on Delaney's finger, making sure that she knew that her story wasn't complete, that being a survivor is not the only definition of her beautiful humanity, I knew I was witnessing a sacred action. Sketching scenes on the night of her pouring her pain onto the paper as her pencil quietly scratched out the details of that night, I realized I was witnessing the bravery and artisanship of a truly transcendent person. We need to heal the world on so many levels, but if we listen closely, Daisy is focusing our attention on the things we all need to work on. Even though she's gone from this world, her story is never over. Thank you.
Hold on a sec. I want to unmute John to say.
Sarah has something, I don't know what Sarah
Sarah, you're unmuted if you want to speak.
is.
I'll just say a little something to, like Bonnie, there's no way I could get through this if I didn't write it down. So please bear with me for reading something. And thank you everyone who's shared. It's so healing to be in your presence right now. So here's a little something I wrote. Daisy was always herself. She was powerfully her own person. She did not pretend to be someone she wasn't, even if she knew she was still figuring out who she was and who she wanted to be. She was hilarious, awkward, glamorous, soulful, vulnerable, fierce, talented, wise, and conflicted, and so much more. Like Bonnie, I first met Daisy on a hot July day just before her senior year, and it was this strength of character that I immediately felt. It's such a surreal thing to show up to someone's house with a crew of strangers and cameras and begin the process of telling their story. And as Bonnie said, we talked to Melinda and Charlie for Daisy for weeks on the phone, but it's another thing to finally be there in person. You never quite know how someone will react, but it tells you so much about who they are and your relationship with them. I was struck by this quality I sensed in her ability to just be her. One of the most beautiful and powerful things about making a film is the medium's ability to preserve time, to relive moments over and over. I'm so grateful that Audrey and Daisy has captured a record of Daisy, as has Ella's Saving Daisy. But I now find myself drawn to the memories and moments off camera that remind me of who Daisy was in her multidimensional glory. I want to celebrate a strange power of hers right now, one that shows the funny, silly, playful side of this impossibly cool and charismatic person. It's one that both Delaney Henderson and Robin Kopp have also fondly recalled in recent days, so I suspect this might resonate with some of you here. I'm speaking now about Daisy's uncanny ability to communicate with squirrels. If you don't know, Daisy was a legitimate squirrel whisperer. It might seem like a quirky little trait, a footnote in the vast archive that is Daisy's profound legacy, but it says so much to me about her spirit. I first noticed this delightfully surprising behavior in Toronto when we were showing Audrey and Daisy at the Hot Docs Film Festival in 2016. We were walking through the park with Tristan and Delaney when Daisy all of a sudden hopped off the path and onto the grass. She stretched out her hand and literally began whispering to a squirrel who had come down from a nearby tree. The little animal approached her tentatively, then scurried right up to her hand. I was in awe, just totally dumbfounded by this power of hers. It's a magical thing to watch a human connect with an animal like that. I feel like Daisy emanated a ray of compassion towards the squirrel. She let it know that she was safe. Daisy's squirrel whispering told me that Daisy saw potential in all things, little things, cute things, non-human things, everyday things. She could truly become friends with anyone. She established connections far and wide, across the country and the world, and clearly across species. She especially did if someone was in need. She spoke to every audience member who approached her with their own stories. She responded to each message she received indicating someone needed help. She saved lives that way. When I lose someone I love, it brings me solace to see them in everyday things. I see my great-grandmother's bright orange hair in brilliant autumn leaves, my grandfather's pugnacious spirit in wild turkeys. I will forever see Daisy the warrior, the advocate, the poised and profound truth teller that she was, through the urgent work with survivors that will continue. I'll see her in the stories and films that have recorded her impact. And I'll cherish her playfulness, her delightful strangeness, her ability to just be herself. When the leaves rustle in a tree and a squirrel scampers down, I'll think of her and her magic to connect.
Oh, okay. That was really beautiful, Sarah. Bonnie, is John there? Does he want to speak to set up the film clip? I don't see him in our lineup. Oh, wait, I just did see him. Okay, I'm unmuting you, John. Can you get on? There you are.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see everybody, especially you, Charlie. Just deep condolences again. It's bittersweet to visit with everybody today, for sure. We've been at Actual Films. We've had the privilege of having footage of Daisy that we've revisited with in the last week or so, and we realized during these the past few days, that what was once considered rushes or raw material for a film that we were making is now this precious home video that we have of somebody that we feel like is a member of our extended family. And we wanted to share a couple of scenes that didn't make it into the film, but that we always had a particular place in our heart for. And we enlisted our editor, Don Bernier, who I believe is on the call today, to go through this footage with us and collapse it down into a few minutes that we wanted to share with everybody. We think it gives everybody a chance to visit with the Daisy that we certainly knew at the time, when she was 17, 18 years old.
All right. My screen share one more time.
All right, you are free to go. What? I like that. I wonder how many fish we've killed so far. Oh my god! No. Out of my hair! My hair just singed.
Not really sure how to feel about it. Some in the way you move makes me feel like I can't live without you. It takes me all the way. I want you to stay. Want you to stay. Round and around and around and around we go. Oh, now, tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you know. Reason I hold on. Ooh, 'cause I need this hold gone. Finally, you're the broken one, but I'm the only one who needed saving. When you finally see the light, it's hard to know which one of us is keeping. Not really sure how to feel about it. Something in the way you move makes me feel like I can't live without you. Yeah, takes me all the way. I want you to stay. Want you to stay. Round and around and around and around we go. Oh, now, tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you know. Ooh, reason I hold on. Ooh, 'cause I need this hold gone. Funny you're the broken one, but I'm the only one who needed saving. When you finally see the light, it's hard to know which one of us is keeping. Not really sure how to feel about it. Something in the way you move makes me feel like I can't live without you. It takes me all the way. Want you to stay. Want you to stay.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. So give me 1 second. As you all know, we had some technical difficulties getting everyone on, and our last speaker was not able to get on. So she sent me her message just this second over email, and I wanted to be able to share it with you all. But I have to email it to myself. So in the meantime, why don't I skip ahead a little bit to our next moment. This is a video that Tori DeVito made. She's accompanied by her dad, Liberty DeVito. Tori is on our board of directors and was incredibly generous in the very beginning of our days to reach out after seeing Audrey and Daisy and offer her time and her service to our organization. And she is as committed as any of us, and is actually the co-producer with Ella of Saving Daisy. So I want to share this beautiful clip from her because she's a renowned violinist as well. 1 second. Okay. So, I just wanted to say a few of my memories before we close out. When I met all of the kids who started Safe Bay with me, and I call them kids and I always will because they remind me how old I am, and they give me nicknames like Charles. We have been on a very, very wild ride, and the fact that everyone, Daisy included, trusted me with the wheel was the gift of the gift of my life, and so I will never forget taking her to the Brooklyn Bridge or her first Broadway show, which was Meteor Shower with Amy. I'll never forget the last stop we did in Jackson Hole. There was a boy in the school who approached her on the second day that we were there and was telling him of the issues that he was having with supporting his girlfriend, but not having support himself from his family. And Daisy opened her purse and gave him money for the night. And then one of the next stops we made was to a middle school where we'd been told by the administration that 3 girls were on a bus the week before. And there was a predatory older man on the bus. It wasn't a school bus. They ride the public transportation there. And they were very worried about that person, and they saw other kids get onto the bus, and they stayed on the bus with this one lone girl that they didn't know. And they refused to leave her by herself and got off at her stop and walked her home. So we went to their classroom to love them and hug them and praise them and give them Safe Bay t-shirts and thank them for being the model active bystanders that they are. I loved taking her to the beach to collect seashells for Tristan. I loved that she always called to get car and mechanic advice from Jason, my husband. I loved showing up on the set of I Feel Pretty in Boston to bring her laundry, only to find out that she would be shooting a cameo that day and staying to watch her shoot with my daughter. I loved seeing her little face light up when we went to the Plaza Hotel, which, despite trying to describe it to my amazing Charlie and Daisy from the Midwest, had no idea what that was like. And then watching as all of those pageant years paid off with her poise in speaking to the entire ballroom that evening. And even prior to that, I got to pick out gowns with her over FaceTime, where she was exclusively worried about how much she could cover up her tattoos with her gown. And there was that time she thought I was mad at her for getting another face tattoo. And then there's the time that my daughter Ayla called her to get advice about getting a stick and poke tattoo, and then Daisy had to call me to confess. And also the time we went to Salem, Massachusetts on a detour outside of Boston, so I could see her eyes wide as she saw all of the witch stores. She loved being an empath, and she could feel other souls all around her. She always said that our bodies were just meat coverings for our soul. As a matter of fact, in the elevator of the Plaza Hotel on the way up to the gala, one of our fellow passengers who we hadn't met before told her that she looked like a witch and still follows us and supports us to this day. One time in Utah, as a matter of fact, we were out at a restaurant with a partner, and she was really weird the entire time, and she just felt strange. She felt there was a presence in the restaurant, and then when it turned out, when we got home and Googled it, that there actually had been a murder and an arson cover-up in that restaurant, and she, for whatever reason, could feel it in her presence. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. I loved that she carried a sticky roller with her like other people carry gum. She basically always needed it because of how much she was hugging all the animals. I loved the way that she took time for other survivors, no matter what, and they loved her for it. Once, Amanda sent her a surprise pizza delivery in Boston because she was hungry but too tired, just to thank her for always being there for her. there was that time we wanted to do a shout out to our corporate sponsor, Thrive Cosmetics, and she decided the best way to do that was a makeover on Charlie. And she said she'd been waiting for that moment for her entire life. But after an Instagram poll on the matter, she let him do a makeover on her instead. And it was live on Instagram and it was priceless. I love the way that she posted hilarious cat videos on Facebook and her unparalleled love of pickles and their juice. So thank you everybody so much for being here. And we so appreciate all of you and sharing your grief. And we will be answering any emails or direct messages or anything anyone needs. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We love you all and we will continue to do this work in her name and make her proud. I will close everything out by picking up where I left off on our little slideshow of pictures, where there is in fact a picture of her talking to a squirrel.
The silence of their friends is not always the words. So, the song to reflect the power of the film is both the fun and the good, and the episode to your reaction, the journey of Daisy and Audrey, and certain lights love, strength, and reflecting time for me that if I didn't
Why are you thinking now? Do you feel like you're getting more control back of the situation? Are you steering it into, what? And for those who don't know,
So thank you everyone for sticking with us. I want to remind everyone again that at the top of the chat there is a list of services, national services, if anyone needs support. I will try and figure out another way to share this. I'll be recording it, but to share it so everyone that did miss it, I apologize. I don't know what happened with Zoom Professional locking us out at 100, but thank you again, everyone, for being here and for loving Daisy.